Marcello, the ROI guy.
Hi, this is April Morley. I'm co-founder of Genius Drive and the Enterprise Value Collective.
And welcome to the Value Coffee Talk podcast.
This podcast is a service of the Enterprise Value Collective, a community for business value-focused leaders and practitioners, and is sponsored by our value consultancy, Genius Drive.
And our mission is to help accelerate and optimize the value articulation in each of your customer engagements and throughout the customer lifecycle. And to help us understand how to do that par excellence is Scott Turner. He's the SVP of Marketing for accounting automation software firm K1X. He's also a veteran B2B SaaS and technology CMO and marketing exec for the likes of Dell and several other AI, fintech, and DevOps startups and scale-ups. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Awesome. I know you've got a lot of startup experience and a lot of scale-up experience, so I want to really focus on that because so many of the folks that listen in are in that same boat with you. Too often, those organizations come to be a startup or scale-up. They're very product-led, product-generated, and as a result, their go-to-market tends to be very product-led. Tell us some of the challenges that can present.
What could possibly go wrong with, I have a product, here, buy it, right? I mean, I would, some of that is, you would think that in this day and age that it would be obvious to everyone, and yet it's not. I think a lot of founders are really rightly excited about their product and here, go sell it. And I believe in product-led growth, but that's not your question. Yours is more along the lines of, hey, I've got a product here, buy it. And we're fellow marketers here. We're in a safe space, I assume. So I think we all appreciate that marketing and value oriented messaging first. That's all about thinking about the customer and working backwards from their needs and their pain points.
Yeah, I think you point out something really important, Scott, in that you still have to have a really good product, and being product-led with a good product is important. But if you go to market just relying on the product, that's the big challenge and issue.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's super in the evolution of a startup. They almost have to start out being sales centric. They have to get those first couple of wins underneath their belts before they can start staffing up and bringing on a marketing team. And then that's where I think the real work begins, is to start teasing out, what does this product mean to the market? What does it mean to the ideal customer profile? What pain does it solve? Do they know that they have a problem? Do they know that there are solutions out there, et cetera, et cetera? And those are kind of those thoughtful marketing approaches that frankly, you guys helped us with as well.
So you said before that when you join startups and scale-ups, that one of your first initiatives is to transition the organization to be value-centric. Can you talk about why that's so important?
Yeah. I mean, I've been hinting around it. It's just way too easy to just smash people on the head and say, oh, we've got this product, you need to buy it. So I think far more effective is that notion of educating and informing a customer, maybe slightly entertaining them as well along the way. But you've got I'm channeling Eminem a little bit here, but you've got that one chance to make that impression. Don't blow it, to paraphrase. And so, you have that one moment to hit them with the right brand that maybe instills a sense of confidence, to speak their language, to tap into some value points of theirs. You're not just some weird curiosity that's like, okay, next, like, wait, you've now grabbed me. You're speaking my language. I had no idea there was a solution to this problem. And so, yeah, I think it's obvious from a customer perspective. One would think it should be obvious at the organizational perspective. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But I think if you can quickly start showing results from that, you can make your own internal case to steer the organization towards that marketing kind of mentality.
So what were some of the things that you did to execute on this? So we're convinced that, okay, we maybe started off product led go to market. The early adopters are on board. Now we need to pivot. Now we need to be much more value centric and value led. So what are
Yeah.
some of the things that you implemented and the kind of roadmap of those elements that got you to success?
Yep. Okay, a couple of things. I think people like to buy from people, and people, we're humans, and whether we realize it about ourselves or not, we respond to stories and storytelling. And I think data has its place, and sometimes we can hide behind that data and use data to justify the decisions that we plan on making, because maybe we've been persuaded by a story. And at this particular company, um, we made the wise decision to bring you guys in. And a shameless plug for you. You didn't ask for it, but it's true. I was about, I think, 2 weeks on the job at the time, so I was still trying to understand the market and the ideal customer profile and what have you. And so just going through kind of a structured exercise of figuring out, what are our segments, who's most likely to respond to this, why are they most likely to respond to it, what's their pain, what do they realize they have that pain? I mentioned this earlier. Do they realize there are solutions out there? And then what triggers them to now be either open and receptive to a solution, or what triggers them to now start searching for a solution?
Mhm.
And then that's where you've got your chance at the storytelling. And then, frankly, I also believe in I think it's the Aristotle persuasion model. I'm a firm believer that that marketing is persuasion times math, right? And so
Mhm.
marketing is definitely a numbers game, and that's its own separate podcast, I suppose. But yeah, part of it is having those proof points, and you drew this out of us, the proof points, those brag stats of, here's what your life could be, here's what it is now, here's what it could be with us. So that's that logical argument. And then there's the ethos, that third party credibility, whether it's a partner or a customer testimonial or a certification or membership in a common group, etc. Those kind of trust signals that I think people, my wife's in sales, and she always tells me it's two questions: what's in it for me? That's the logical, and who else says so? That's that ethos.
Mhm.
And then this is something else you helped us with. It's it's the pathos, and it's that bigger why, and that notion of starting with why. And I think the thing that we fell on, at least at this company, is that notion of we're the software that returns your nights and weekends to you. So you're
Mhm.
making logical arguments, trust arguments, and kind of the emotional why arguments. And then I guess that last one, just to round it out, because I'm a little bit obsessed with this notion, is that notion of Kairos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right,
Mhm.
but it's that notion of timing and a seasonality for everything. And so orchestrating your business around and your marketing around those notions, and staying on message in everything that you do, super important.
Love what you said about the persuasion times math, because I think a lot of people think about value and they think math. But I think what you said earlier was that it's the story that really is the persuasion, and then it's the math that helps to back it up.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's human nature. And we it's easy to, I think, assume that B2B customers are so different than B2C. And it's a different buying motion, but we're all still humans. And so we're persuaded by stories. Yeah. And the bar is set a bit higher because the stakes are so much higher in B2B. It's one thing to buy a candy bar for a couple of bucks, and now you're selling
Mhm.
B2B software. So yeah, maybe you rope them in with a story and you're speaking my language. I like what you're saying. I trust what I'm seeing from your brand. And now, help me help you, prove to me that this is as good as you claim it is. And I think that's where some of these, you'd ask some of the tactics. We've launched this value calculator, this ROI calculator, where a couple of clicks, literally 10 or 20 seconds later, a person is getting immediate gratification on what this could do for them. That notion, they are answering for themselves, what's in it for me. And I think that's a powerful thing.
Now, you mentioned entertainment, and one of the things that can be difficult is conveying some of these facts and elements and numbers in a format that is entertaining. Talk about
Yeah.
the entertainment piece and the cat as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It came about a little bit happenstance, but I did know that I didn't want on our newly rebranded website to have a bunch of stock photo images that
Yeah.
just that same tired look that everyone hates and makes fun of. So I knew I didn't do that. And being a startup, we didn't have the budget for a big fancy photography budget and corporate photography thing. So we had to come up with something in between, and that maybe we could brand ourselves along the way. And so we have this links, and this notion of linking um, your company and your needs to your software, linking your data with your service providers. If you're a company, maybe with your accounting firm, and with your accounting firm to your software, et cetera. So there's that notion of linking, and we've got the links in there. And so,
As in the cat, the
it's kind of
links.
taken
Yeah.
off. Yep. Yep.
What is the Lynx's name, Scott?
We think it's Linksy. So
Oh, okay. All right.
lots of big discussions in the background, but everyone's kind of sold on Linksy. Yeah, we like it. Customers seem to gravitate to it, and it's nice in a remote organization. You don't have the opportunity to rub shoulders with your colleagues a whole lot, and this is one of those things that people just kind of dig, and it gives
Mhm.
a little sense of esprit de corps. It's nice. There's no silver bullets out there, but it's nice.
Absolutely. I like that. So you talked about value centric and you're, permeating that across the organization, across the customer journey. How has this helped you to achieve your goals?
Oh, well, I'll say it this way. We have those persuasion models that I already reviewed, and we've got our ROI calculator that we've launched. We've got in our sales process, it's central to what we do, to have we made the economic case for the buyer. The buyer may intuitively know, oh, this is a no-brainer. You can't just go to procurement and say, oh, it's a no-brainer. Well, prove to me, what is it? And the more that you can prove and satisfy, because the buyer, your champion, is sticking their neck out for
Mhm.
they think it's a good idea, but ultimately they're taking a risk on you, especially as a startup. And so they need to satisfy themselves, and they need to satisfy their colleagues that this is the right decision. And so I think it's central to what we do.
And you can see that, like when you look at the social posts, when you look at the website, value is everywhere in what you're presenting, and it's in everything that you do. Have you been able to tie it back to, because again, it's so kind of integrated with everything else, have you been able to tie it back to the value approach as opposed to the product-led approach that was done prior? Revenue growth, start with marketing metrics like pipeline growth and leads
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
like that, and revenue growth. And do you have some of those measures?
Oh, I would be okay. I'll say it this way: I would be cheating and patting myself on the back in a big way, because when you're starting at a low starting point as a true startup, any improvement is like, oh, 1,000% growth and what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were already we were already doing millions, and we grew by 83% this year. And I think we're doing great making this argument. And like you said, in social and on our website, and the
Yeah.
same thing in the emails that you don't see, we're hitting the same points over and over. It's easy, I think, as a marketer to get bored and go to the next shiny object. And I remember the cautionary tale of the folks in the B2C world that moved away from the Dos Equis, world's most interesting man, and
Yes.
just lost billions and billions in market value because they just figured, oh, it's time for a change, and we got to show that we're, not just riding this horse, but we're leading. And it was working for them. And so I'm kind of a believer in continuing to do what's working for you. Yeah, spice it up here and there, and add some new talking points to it. Sharpen your message all the time. Yes, but if it's working, it's working.
Wow, congratulations. That's impressive growth.
Thank you.
So it sounds like you said, it's working for you. Have you had any challenges in the process?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of the challenges is just human nature. This human nature to say, yeah, run the touchdown play again, right? If
Mm-hmm.
that thing works, go do it again, right? And so, marketing campaigns are campaigns for a reason, and content takes time. Multimedia content takes time. Technical content takes a ton of time, and so I think those are always challenges, and to set the expectations that you first have to build the content before you can promote the content, before you can start seeing the results. That's just human nature, and just business. But yeah, I think that's a notion. We're all of us, I think, always want to run the touchdown play. I will say this: we had a recent B2B sale that occurred, I think, from the moment that they expressed an interest in seeing a demo until they signed on the dotted line in 6 days. And that
Wow.
was remarkable, at least for us and our industry and our previous experience. And I want to copy paste that. Where are these? Where's this fishing hole? Where are the people hiding
Yeah.
out that are buying in 6 days? And I was thinking it's some segment or something, and I was thrilled to hear the feedback from the account exec that made the sale. He said they were fully educated by the time they got to me. They had seen the product videos, they had seen the economic argument, they had read every word on the website and our product sheets and whatever, and there wasn't much left to do as the sales maker. So they knew they had a problem, and I wish I could copy paste that for all of those, but not always so easy. But we're working on it.
Definitely. Patience. I love what you said about that. Particularly if you're going to take an approach like this and change the company so substantially from a product-led motion, a product-led selling motion, product-led go-to-market motion, outreach, everything,
Yep.
you do need to have patient leadership, and at the same time be able to kind of manage that leadership to be patient.
Yeah.
Which is kind of our responsibility in implementing it. What advice do you have there? Because I know the leadership, certainly in any kind of scale up like you're in, is not used to being that patient, and the
Right.
board and the members, the investors, are not that patient. So, how do
Right.
you navigate that challenge?
Yeah, I don't mean to be trite, but probably Gantt charts are your friends, to be able to say, this is going to take this long. Once you approve it, it's going to take that long. And then once we review it, it's going to take this amount of time, et cetera. And then we work out the kinks in it, and then we launch. And then maybe we start A/B testing, and then you start getting results. So it's not a snap your fingers kind of proposition. Obviously, we'll always do anything we can to beg, borrow, cheat, and steal to go a little bit faster, with market research or any other insights that are going to nudge us along, or fast moving agencies and and partners and vendors like yourselves. But yeah, that's it. Setting expectations up front.
That's great. Thank you so much for the insight, Scott. What is the one piece of advice that you'd like to leave the Enterprise Value Collective with today?
If you're thinking about going down this path, get going yesterday. There's that ancient proverb of the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. So I feel like content and a
or
lot of
today,
marketing
or
things.
right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So don't wait, get going, because it takes longer than you think. No matter how efficient, no matter how dedicated you are, things just take longer. And so get moving. And by the time you realize, oh gosh, I wish I had that, you've kind of burned a little bit of time there. So get going.
Awesome perspective. Thank you so much for joining the Value Coffee Talk podcast, Scott.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If you liked what you heard, please press the like button, subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest episode. If you haven't done so yet, visit our website or on LinkedIn, look for the Enterprise Value Collective, the community on our website. Sign up there so you can stay in touch with the latest events, tools, and insights. We're adding a lot more of those every week. And until next time, our Enterprise Value Collective keeps sharing and growing together.